So many times I have been asked, how do I distinguish myself from the others? So I'm going to do it for you right now with me. Why should you do business with me as opposed to anyone or everyone else, or worse of all, not having a business coach? Well, I've got several reasons. First is that most business coaches have been either unemployed or terminated for whatever reason. That's not me. I've never had a job for anybody else, and I'm probably unemployable. Another reason is that I've actually done this, not only for myself, also I've done it for others. And I'm continuing to do it. I'll give you an example in a few moments. So what have I done? Well, I've built, bought, and sold more than 30 some odd businesses for myself and over a dozen for my clients. The total assets involved are exceeding now $573 million. I haven't counted the last year or so. We're probably approaching $600 million. Last I checked, that buys a nice lunch. Now, I'm not McKinsey, I'm not Accenture, I'm not Bain Capital, I'm not McGladrey, I'm none of those things. I probably couldn't get a job with any of those people. And I could run circles around them for you. I'll give you some examples. For example, I know marketing, I know sales, and I know finance, and yet I'm not an accountant, I'm not a marketing consultant, I'm not a sales consultant, I'm not an attorney, and yet I've written hundreds of lease agreements and letters of intent for myself and for my clients. So I've got all of that data. I've spent years and years and years doing that, to the point where I do this because I want to and not because I have to. So let's think about that for a moment. Why am I doing this for you? Well, because there are two reasons. Reason number one is the selfish reason. I am a customer, and it's really hard to get customer experience that is enjoyable and wants to get me to refer to you. Reason number two is less selfish. You are my people. My whole family's been this entrepreneurial family. My father, my grandfather, my son, and I want to help. There's another reason why you should do business with me. And this is not the most important reason, but for some people it rings true, and for some people it feels like that's a little bit fishy. And that is, I put my money where my mouth is. I actually guarantee my fees. That is, if I charge you X, I'm going to find you 2X. Now, how do I do that? Well, for example, I'm very particular as to whom I take on as a client. So if I don't believe I can find you $100,000, I'm going to tell you so. I'm going to tell you that we're not a good fit for each other. So I'm not going to participate in someone's failure, nor am I going to take money from somebody that I think I really can't bring tremendous value to. So not only do I help you find that kind of money in terms of new sales, in terms of unnecessary expenses, unnecessary taxes, I also help build your net worth. I'll give you an example as to how I can find you $1 million. I did this for a client just last week. He's buying a business. This business is worth about $1 million. Well, how do I find him that million? Well, let's take a look at this. In order for him to pay the $1 million to the seller, he's got to earn $1,700,000, pay $700,000 tax, to give to the seller, who then has to pay tax on it. He's going to pay about $250,000 tax. So at the stroke of a pen, $1,700,000 becomes $750,000. That's close enough for government work to be $1 million. And I know exactly how to do it. I have done it before, and I'll do that for you. And that's just one little thing. One little thing. It's not terribly exotic, although I know the exotics. I've actually written a monograph on the exotics, and I've written books on success and leadership and HR and marketing and asset protection, to the point where I know that, having been a certified asset protection planner and certified wealth preservation planner, I had to do this. I had to do it for myself, and I decided to do that for my friends and colleagues. And then I built, bought, and sold a wealth management firm, and now I'm doing it for you. And I'm doing it for you for the reasons I gave you. And you might think to yourself right now, well, I don't really need this. I'm doing just fine. How do you think Tom Brady felt 20 years ago? How do you think that Tiger Woods felt, or LeBron James, or Michaela Schifrin, or Serena Williams, or the operatic singers of the world? They all have coaches. I have a coaching group that I go to get coached. Now, that's not to say that everybody needs a coach. If you're happy in your misery, if you're happy being mediocre, that's okay. We're not a good fit for each other. If you want to get to the next level, I am your guy. So make some great decisions. I'll see you on the other side.